Hey, welcome to the stream. First things first, I want to acknowledge I know it's not Wednesday. This is technically Retro Adventure Friday, but I wasn't about to create a new intro graphic. But most importantly, we're back with The Wizard and the Princess. This is attempt number 3 to stream this accursed game. I've tried it with an Apple emulator. I tried it with DOSBox. Now I'm back with ScumVM. This time I am certain it's going to work. I've played this game through twice today. Once with my daughter, so with an actual witness the last time around. So this time I'm confident we're going to make it happen. So welcome back to the stream. If you've been here for some of the previous ones, hopefully we aren't in a full-on boy who cried wolf scenario right now where you just don't show back up, or maybe you show up hoping that I'll fail to stream this again, and you just want to see me have a mental collapse on screen. So either way, I'll take what I can get. Also, I figured since this is a Friday night, I've been tinkering around with some other ideas about Jess's power cuts out. Welcome everybody, by the way. Glad to see people in the chat. I decided I'd test out some new visuals this go around too. I've been wanting to tinker around with the idea of some sort of CRT monitor sort of look. So this is a first pass at maybe a different way to present some of the retro games, adding a little bit of flair there. But we're here with Wizard and the Princess, 1980, Roberta Williams classic for the Apple II. This game would later go on to be retconned into a King's Quest V prequel. I think, it's sort of my version of the Lappy 486. Thank you, ATM Machine, for recognizing it. So, we talked a lot about this last time around, but this is an interesting piece of history that would later get incorporated into the King's Quest series. And honestly, now that I've played it a few times in attempts to get it up and streaming, I think there's a lot to kind of love about this game. I played with my daughter this afternoon, like I said earlier, and watching her sort of work her way through some of the puzzles and getting some of them right and having a blast with it made it hard to hold too much ill will toward the game. But in case anyone's joining that wasn't here last time around before Wizard and the Princess decided to betray me, because that's what it is, it's a betrayal, I did think I would quickly take another look at the story. We'll just briefly give the intro here, and then we'll hop right into the game, which I'm going to be 100% successful with this time around. Yep, just a Friday the 13th, hoping for the best. Surely this game that's crashed on me so many times before won't crash on me again. Wizard and the Princess. This is high-res adventure number 2 by Ken Roberta Williams. Here's the backstory. We don't really get any of this in the game, so this note from the instruction manual is kind of all we have to go on. You're a happy wanderer passing through a village in the land of Serenia. Serenia is, of course, where King's Quest V is set also. When you notice a large crowd, being a curious wanderer, you saunter over to see what's going on. From the middle of the chaos, you hear a bell ringing. As you get closer, you see the town crier with a proclamation from the King of Serenia. Hear ye, he cries. His Majesty King George has just suffered a terrible loss. His fair daughter, the Princess Priscilla, has been abducted by the great and dreadful wizard Harlan to his castle beyond the great mountains. The crowd is now hushed, waiting to hear more. The town crier then shouts, His Majesty offers half his kingdom to anyone who can bring the princess back safely. That is all he has to say, but it leaves you shaking. Literally shaking. Not only are you a happy wanderer, but you love an adventure as well. You're shaking with anticipation, I guess. And half a kingdom is a great reward. I mean, King Graham got a whole kingdom, so this doesn't seem so great. You decide to find her. But where are the great mountains? As you look around, you see no mountains, just a vast desert that seems never to end. You ask a villager where the great mountains are located, and he points to the north and tells you there are a great many dangers on the way to the great mountains, and the wizard Harlan is very powerful and bad. You thank the villager for his information and start off to the north. As you enter the desert, you check your belongings. You're carrying a flask of water, a small knife, a loaf of bread, and a blanket. Not much for such a long journey, but would have to do, for you have no money. And so you're on your way. There's a later version of this story that gets thrown in like the port to Atari and PC and some other places like that, where it adds this whole like time travel element where you've been brought from the real world back to this fantasy world of the wizard and the princess and given a computer, and somehow you're going to use that to defeat the wizard. It's a whole thing. So we'll see what we can make of this. But let me switch back over to the game itself. There we go. So here we are at the opening screen. As I did last time around, we'll throw on a little bit of adventuring music in the background here. Hopefully this wasn't what was crashing us all along. We'll know soon enough, right? And let's do some adventuring. As I said before, I am playing this with a walkthrough just because this is a pretty brutal game without one. And this time around I'm playing on ScumVM, which is nice because it seems to actually work consistently. It's a bummer because we lose that cool draw-in effect that the screens had on other versions. So as we go north, it just sort of instantly flashes us to the screen rather than drawing in the outline and then them fixing it for us. But this is better than nothing, right? So our first obstacle, snake blocking our way to the north. So many snakes will be in our way over the course of this adventure, and we'll see if we can avoid them all. So puzzle number 1. We go into the desert. The desert is a giant maze. Right off the bat, we're hit with a maze. Each of the rocks that appear on these screens can be picked up. Picking it up will reveal a scorpion behind it that instantly kills you, unfortunately. So we have to navigate the desert until we find the one rock that can be picked up. So let's get this rock. We got the rock. So already we're off to a great start. The only other real way to figure this out if you were playing the game without a walkthrough is pure trial and error. You just wander around the desert picking stuff up. You die when the scorpion bites you or stings you, I suppose. And then you try again. And now we are going to deal with this snake. So in a very un-King's Quest-y kind of way, we are going to throw rock. And now the poor snake has gone asleep. I was hoping, that we could play this off as a, unconscious snake, but it very clearly says you hit the snake on the head with a rock and kill it. So that's how it is. R.I.P. Snake. That's right. You savagely beat it to a bloody pulp. By the way, the town of Serenia, this is the same town, the little village that appears in King's Quest V, at least presumably. Here in Wizard and the Princess, you can't interact with it at all. You can't go on, exploring any of the buildings, even look buildings. There's nothing in the buildings that would interest you. It doesn't even bother to give lip service to the idea that maybe you would want to explore this further. The game is very much limiting in terms of what it allows us to do, which is sort of unfortunate, right? It's pretty closed off in that regard. But let's go back north. Go north again. You are hot and thirsty. I think you'd better drink some water. So one of the items that we had when the game started was a flask of water. What else are we carrying? An empty flask, a pocket knife, a loaf of bread, a blanket. All those sorts of necessary stuff. Huh. I'm not showing dropped frames on my end. I'm not showing any sort of networking areas, or errors rather. Oh no, everyone's getting it. Let's give it a second here. Of course we're having network errors, right? Twitch is going down. Wizard's fighting hard. This is all Harlan. Oh no. Stream keeps buffering. Yeah, I'm not showing it on my end. I have a little thing that monitors the frames going out and everything, and it's not showing dropped frames. I don't know. Let's keep pushing ahead and see if it gets any better. All right, go east. And then there's a stick. This is the screen where normally things get bad, right? So now we have a stick. Go west. And here, we see nothing special. Let's look cactus. There's a hole in one cactus. Okay, let's look hole. There's a cracker in the hole. Look, cracker. It's nothing special, you just see a cracker. Let's get the cracker. All right, we now officially have a cactus cracker. Those are pretty common in most deserts in Serenia. So we're going to go north. And now we have our second snake of the game. This time the snake is... Look. Ooh, you see nothing special. There's a rattlesnake here. You better watch out. So this is kind of funny, right? On the one hand, we came to a screen with a snake trapped underneath a rock, and then immediately another snake shows up. You know what? Not a Ritz cracker, just a cactus cracker. So we're going to use stick to scare off one snake. Oh no, it killed the wrong one. Okay. Let's see. The snake bites you, you're dead. Okay, so that's unfortunate. If those snakes appear together, you can't get rid of one without killing the one you need to proceed. So we are going to run it back. This game's brutal. It doesn't want you to win. So it is, again, increasingly the bane of my existence. Drink. All right, so we have drank. Get stick. Yeah, you just kill indiscriminately in this game. It's really unfortunate. West, west. Look, hole. Get cracker. Okay. Let's see. Well, F5. Okay, here we go. Let's save. There we go. So now, so many challenges with snakes. This game is all snakes. Like, it's snakes all the way down. It's like snakes writhing around on top of snakes, like that scene from Raiders of the Lost Ark. Just all snakes. Okay, so here we are. Let's get rock. That blue snake that popped up earlier that wasn't trapped by a rock is random, so he's not here this time. Let's get the rock. When you remove the rock from the snake's tail, the snake looks at you and says, "I am the king of the snakes, and to repay you, I will give you a magic word, hiss." And then he leaves. There's a rattlesnake here. You better watch out. So, there we go. Now we have a rattlesnake that we freed, who is king of the snakes, which is very King's Quest V, right? King's Quest V, you know, King Antony that you save, Queen Beatrice. This is some classic themes that Roberta Williams would revisit in later games. So now we're going to use stick. You hit the snake on the head with the stick and drive it away. You're in the desert. All right, so we got rid of that stick. Now we're going to go... Oh, we also got a magic word from the snake, which is hiss. Which, honestly, most snakes I've ever seen were telling me the same magic word. I don't know how you differentiate, necessarily. This is some vintage Sierra puzzle design, right? All right. East. South. Okay. There's a rattlesnake here. Now the rattlesnake is hanging out in this little hole. So we are going to use the stick again. Get the snake on the head with the stick and drive it away. You're now in the desert. So that is our fourth snake of the game, correct? We're now up to 4 snakes. So if you're keeping score at home, we got the classic quad snake scenario. Then we're going to look in hole. Oh wait, let's try feeding the cracker. Oh wait, the snake's gone now. Can't do it anymore. Look in hole. Look hole. I think you can only do 2-word commands. There's a note here. Get note. Look note. So this is interesting. This is half of a magic word we will need to use later in the game. What you're seeing here is half of the magic word. You can see the top of each letter. So that's basically the top of an H, an O, a C, a U, and an S for hocus, as in hocus pocus. We will eventually find the other half of this, but this is pretty wild in terms of looking at that, I think, and easily deciphering it. Maybe I'm just a lazy adventurer, though. I don't think I would have ever figured that out. So we got the note, and we dropped the note. So we're going to go north. North. And there's a locket. At least feeding off snakes instead of killing them. Yeah, this is all snakes. Get locket. Open locket. Look, locket. Says Lucy. Or as my daughter said when we were playing it earlier today, Lucky, which was incorrect. She should get better at reading. So let's go west. Get note. Look note. Okay, so this is the other half of that secret word, hocus. That magic word. The problem is, if you're carrying both of the notes at the same time, the game can't differentiate between the two notes when you say look note. If they're both in your inventory, it just shows you one or the other. So there's no way to really view both of them back to back at the same time. So that's sort of unfortunate. But now we have the note. Where do we go now? West, north. You're at the south edge of a deep chasm. There's a cottage and some woods on the other side. This is our opportunity to use our magic word. All I can read here is mucus. No, that's more of a scum thing, right? Well, I guess we are on scum VM, though. So here we have an opportunity to use our magic word, hocus. And a bridge appears. Ta-da! So we're learning magic little by little. Again, I mean, that's a fairy tale theme in general, but certainly something we'd see later on in King's Quest 3, King's Quest 5 in particular. But now that we have said hocus, we can go across the bridge. You're at the north edge of a deep chasm. There's a bridge spanning the chasm. Look, house. Have we saved in the last few seconds? This is an excellent question. Thank you for keeping me honest. Okay. And the perspective flips. That's exactly right. This is something the game does a lot. We cross that bridge going north, and now on the other side of it, we've done a 180, and now the bridge that should be to our south is at the top of the screen, creating just a remarkably confusing geography for this game. Later on, when we get to some of the mazes that are coming up, it's even worse. So for now, let's go in this house. There's an apple here. You're in the one-room cottage. It is almost empty except for a couple of tables. What an unfortunate cottage to live in. Let's get that apple. Look, apple. The apple looks delicious. Sleep. I don't know how to sleep something. Yes, it does shift perspective like the King's Quest 5 maze, which is also a brutal bit of game design, right? Ransack the cottage. Yeah, these poor people living in this cottage have one apple to their name. Let's just bust on in and grab it, baby. That's our apple now. I do want to point out, this is by far, not to tempt fate, Roberta Williams, if you're up there in heaven looking down on me right now, I hope that you will take pity and show kindness toward me. But this is the farthest we've made into the game so far on stream, and it hasn't crashed yet. Let's keep our fingers crossed. So we have the apple. Okay. This is, so we're going north, which won't be back across the bridge. North in this case will be down. And there's a little gnome here. If you talk to this gnome, he steals all of your stuff. He robs you, and you're just out all of your possessions. So you encounter your first humanoid creature here, and speaking to him immediately loses the game for you, basically. So that's an interesting choice, right? So what we can do, yeah, look at that graphical bleed on his hat. Save and do it. This is a great point. I'm almost afraid to save and experiment Why is save gone? Why is my save command gone? Oh no. Let's see. Which way do we just go? The little gnome grabs some of your things and runs away with them. Okay. Let's load back. Like the dwarf from King's Quest 1. Excellent point. Yeah, the dwarf from King's Quest 1 running around stealing all your stuff. Put him into a garden. By the way, if you're interested in supporting the stream, as always, I have some stickers that you can slap right on there. This week's stickers have all kinds of Ken and Roberta Williams stuff in honor of Wizard and the Princess. Just hover over the video window for 50 bits. You can put your mark on the stream and interrupt it in the process. So let's go down to the north. Here's our friend the gnome. This time around, we will avoid him. We go east, east. Look, hole. The hole is large enough for you to fit through. We'll come back this way. So we won't go there yet. North. Okay. Stranger danger. Yeah, gnomes and dwarves are jerks in the King's Quest universe, which is really unfortunate. Oh, did he steal stuff again? I wasn't paying attention. Did I not move quickly enough? Maybe I'm sitting here and gabbing too much. Let's go north. North. West. Yeah, I guess he does. Maybe we'll get a chance to get back here. Here, let me try that one more time. Or reload that. Got lost track of where I'm at. Can you avoid the gnome? I don't think you can. I do think we'll be able to, get some of our stuff back from him though. So here's the gnome. We're gonna go east, east, north. Hit him with a rock. That's right. I mean, at this point, bashing brains in is just how we solve puzzles, right? Thank you, Valenice. I appreciate that you're in the spirit of the game, right? Did I get the apple again? I guess I didn't. We'll get this. This is a learning process. This is a short game. We want to extend all of the gameplay we can, right? All right, and I'll go ahead and resave it. Good idea, now that I have the apple. Now we're going to go north. And now here's our friend the gnome. We're gonna go east, east, north. Now we're at this crevice. And we are going to use our second magic word of the game. We're going to say hiss. You suddenly turn into a snake. We are now the 5th snake in the game. Go crevice. I believe that we're going to get our stuff back right here. I'm not 100% sure about this. I think we will. You're in an underground tunnel. There's a small crevice going to the outside here. Sunlight is coming in through the crevice. So we're going to go south, south. You've changed back into yourself again. South. And there's our missing stuff. So we're going to get cracker, get locket, get bread. Look at those great graphics though. I mean, that's not bad compared to where Mystery House was at. If any of you guys watched the Mystery House stream a couple of weeks ago, this game only came out 4 months after Mystery House. The sort of improvement we see in the graphics here is pretty wild. And yeah, it feels very King's Quest 3 and honestly the end of King's Quest 5 a little bit with all the transformations, right? It's going to feel a whole lot more like King's Quest 5 by the time we get to the end of it. But again, you can see a lot of Roberta Williams's sort of tropes already forming. It looks so much like the Leprechaun antechamber. Yes, it does. You expect to see, like in the, the SCI version we played the other night, the giant slobbering rat standing in front of it. So this is interesting. The door is locked from this side. So all we have to do is unlock the door. We don't have a key or anything. It's just locked from this side. So I guess you can just flip the lock and go on through. All right. Now we'll open the door. And we will go door. And let's go up the stairs, go through the hole, and we're out through that tree that we saw earlier. Count your fingers. That count your fingers bit is still upsetting to me from King's Quest 1. I don't know what it is, but the idea of handing a giant rat a piece of cheese and possibly him nibbling off a finger is just so deeply upsetting. I don't know. Let's see here. We've gone back out. Now we can go east, north. You're in the woods. There's a parrot sitting in a tree. Look, parrot. The parrot is very beautiful. That's about the only description you get of really anything in this game. It just usually says it's beautiful. But you gotta love that. Give cracker, right? Beautiful bird, lovely plumage. Give cracker. Actually, I was reading a review of this game, a contemporaneous review from the early 80s, a couple of days ago. And one of the reviewers mentioned that as someone who didn't speak English as their first language, that the Polly wants a cracker joke was very much an English language kind of concept, and that this gave them quite a pause. But we'll give the bird a cracker. The parrot eats the cracker and is very grateful. He sets a vial of liquid on the tree branch for you. There's a vial here. If a parrot gave me a vial, I would definitely take it, and then, sight unseen, without any further explanation, would definitely drink it at some point. But we're going to save it for just a moment here. We're going to go south, west, west, north. There are a lot of empty screens in this game. Navigating it, eat parrot. Navigating it would be quite a challenge. Say we fill up our flask with water again. Maybe a good time to save, right? It's the nectar of the gods. That's what they call it here in Serenia, right? The King's Quest companion might be low-key suggesting Graham had some elvish heritage, since it describes him as having huge ears that he covers with a mullet. I have my King's Quest companion right here. This is all interesting. If you've ever read the King's Quest companion, you know it is full of some of the most bananas semi-sanctioned fan fiction ever written. I highly recommend tracking down a copy if you're a King's Quest fan. There is all kinds of just wild stuff in there. Just weird bits of things that have all crept onto the King's Quest wiki in years since, and it really, half of it makes no sense whatsoever. Still buffering. I'm not showing those on my end. I wonder if that's Twitch that's buffering on me, or if it's a connection problem somewhere. That's unfortunate. It's still not showing me having any sort of problems as far as that on my end. It looks like my connection's strong, but I apologize if Twitch isn't treating anybody well. Let's go up this tree. Okay. You're at the top of the tree. You see an ocean in the distance. This is sort of a get your bearings kind of thing. All right. So we have a sense of where we're going. Let's go back down. Let's go south, south, west. You're at the edge of the woods. You see the ocean. It doesn't bother to mention there's a lion here, which I love. Oh, that's unfortunate. I hate that everyone's getting the buffering tonight. Again, this game is cursed, of course. It is a very cute kitty, right? I guess later in the series when we see a kitty like this, what, in King's Quest 2, do we throw it some meat? Is that correct? Can you pet the cat? That's right. I'm pumping this thing out. I didn't mention I'm running it at like 8K. So, you know, the graphics are just so intense that Twitch probably can't handle the throughput. Eat cat, Alf style. Let's pet lion. I do not know how to pet something. It doesn't look like anything to me. Yeah, it's got some Westworld. Kiss lion. I wouldn't try it if I were you. Drop kick lion. I don't know how to drop kick something. Talk lion. I wouldn't try it if I were you. Or if I was go north. The lion won't let you pass. Antagonize lion. I don't know how to antagonize something. Kiss lion. Yeah, I'm always curious too. It's always odd whether Twitch and like recordings uses the buffering. It usually seems to smooth that stuff out. All right, it looks like we cannot get kick lion. We cannot get this lion to be angry at us. So tickle lion. Now, looks like we're going to have to do the most obvious answer and give it a loaf of bread. The lion wolfs down the bread and then walks away. Lions love bread. If there's one thing we know about them, it's that lions can't get enough bread. All right. So you're at the edge of the ocean on a beach. There's a rowboat here. Let's get that rope. And now let's go boat. There's a hole in the boat. We've been carrying around a blanket this entire game. Yeah, it did kind of look like a shell, didn't it? More than a rope. Or maybe another coiled up snake. The game's actually less cruel than King's Quest V. We're going to stuff a blanket into the hole in the boat. And then we are going to go north. You're hot and thirsty. I think you better drink some water. Drink. We are going to go north, east, east, east. We've come ashore. Leave boat. All right. We've made it to the island. We're well into the game at this point. I'd say about 3/4 of the way done. Without a walkthrough, we'd probably still be wandering around the desert at the beginning of the game. Eat spinach dip. Yeah, you need to eat spinach dip. You need need sort of a what is it that he puts his hair in Leisure Suit Larry 2? Is it a wig, or does he smear something in there to protect him from the sun? Yeah. Allo didn't participate in the making of this game, but again, we can see some Sierra parallels, right? Let's go east, north, north. There's an anchor here. Get anchor. Plenty of snakes, but no wizards yet. We probably will not see a wizard here, which is really wild. Use rope. Tie rope. Use rope. The anchor is tied to the rope. So essentially, we have now a grappling hook that we fashioned out of the rope and the anchor that we found. West. We're going to throw the rope. Oh, look at that tree house, though. You're in the jungle of the island. There's a tree house in the large tree. Look, house. You see nothing special. This game will not ever tell us anything that is interesting. I mean, yeah, we are arguably the wizard at this point. We've been casting spells left and right. Let's throw the rope. The rope is thrown over the branch in the passive voice. You're in the jungle. Still. All right, now that we've thrown the rope, we are going to go up. This feels very King's Quest 3, right? With the bandits hideout. We're going up into a little tree house. Get shovel. And maybe a little bit King's Quest 7. Roberta Williams loves a bandit hideout in a tree. All right, so we have the shovel. We're going to go down, south, south. And if this is Serenia and we just used a boat, is this the Harpies Island? I really appreciate those questions. Let me consult the King's Quest companion, because I believe I have maps. because the geography of this area is important to really nail down. There's the land of Daventry map. Where is my land of Serenia map? Okay, here we go. So I'm looking at this. The continent of Daventry. In the north, we find Serenia. To the south, we find the Kingdom of Daventry. Mordax Island and the Harpies Islands are both off the east coast of Daventry. And I'm honestly not seeing what island this might be. Here, let me hold it up. I'm sure this will look great on stream. Let me see if I can angle it here. You can kind of see there what the continent looks like in the King's Quest Companion. But I see no signs of the island we're on. Thank goodness I have my King's Quest Companion with me. There's a reason why I always keep this at arm's length no matter what I'm doing, because it holds the answers to every question. And the answer to this question is, I don't know where we are. So let's dig. This is great. You have uncovered a treasure chest. This may be my favorite part of the game. Let's get the chest. A pirate jumps from behind a tree. Shiver me timbers, trying to steal my treasure. He grabs the chest and runs. You're on a beach on an island. I love it so much. They don't even bother to animate him. He doesn't show up as a still image for a moment. It's all in the text. A pirate jumps out from behind a tree. He's been hiding there the whole time. Shiver me timbers, trying to steal my treasure. I guess he buried it there and then was going to stay and watch to see if anyone came for it. I thought usually the idea when you buried treasure was you were going to come back and get it at a later date. I guess this pirate had just been like scoping it out to see if anyone came to try to steal it. It balances out the line that's not in the description. Yeah, it's a line not worth mentioning and a pirate that only is worth mentioning. Hang by a tree. All right, so now that we've done that, let's go east, north, west. Go cave. There's the chest. Look, chest. There's a small harp here. So a small harp here. You're in the cave. The cave ends right here. This is the end of the cave. There will be no more cave. It ends here. Here and now. Throw rocket. Pirate's already gone. You only get a chance to crush his skull like you do everything else in the game. Okay, leave cave. East, north. Now you come to the beach here, and this requires some degree of, Roberta Williams loves her harps. She loves her harpies, but also her harps. What you have to do at this point, and again, this feels very King's Quest 3, you have to divine that now is the time to drink that vial that the parrot gave us earlier. Oops. Dial vial. I can't speak and type at the same time, guys. What do you want from me? Dial hint line. Drink vial. When you drink the liquid, your arms turn into wings. So now we can fly away from this island. We're going to go north, north. There's a beautiful sapphire ring here. If you'll recall from King's Quest 2, all of the jewelry that you discover along that quest is also sapphire. I don't know if Roberta Williams was a fan of sapphires. I don't know if it's just that it shows up nicely in certain palettes or sounds more interesting than diamond. There's one large ring or one very small tree. But yeah, here we have another sapphire ring popping up. So now we have the ring. You're in the mountains. There's an old peasant woman here. I don't know if old was necessary. Talk woman. She warned you of the giant who lives in the mountains. Sorry about the buffering, ATM. All right. I think that's all we can do with the woman. Sadly. This is such a geographically diverse land. You know, later on, in some of the later editions in the backstory of this game, they talk about how the evil wizard Harlan created all of these geographical oddities to keep the wanderer from reaching him. So they actually try to like somehow contextualize that. They have this whole, it's like, oh, he created mountains and giant oceans and a vast desert and everything, and it was like this whole, you know, terraforming plan to keep his evil plan to kidnap the Princess Priscilla from being undone. But yeah, it's an interesting question. This is a geographically diverse land, but that's the case in all the King's Quest games too, right? Marry woman. I don't know how to marry something. First of all, someone, show some respect, but I get it. In the beginning, Harlan created the levels in the world. There is a slight drizzle. You're in the mountains. Look, rainbow. Oh no. Oh no. I think we had to go on that rainbow in that moment, or else we're stuck in the game. It's a one move deal. Okay. We have to do this over again. Dang it. Okay. We got this. East, north, north. Get anchor. Use rope. Use rope. Tie rope. Use rope. Sierra games, everybody. It's great fun. West. Throw rope. Oh, throw up. Throw rope. Up. Get shovel. The good news is you can really power through this quickly. Thanks. Dig. Get chest. Yar! There's Shiver Me Timbers Pirate. He's here to punish us yet again. We're going to go east, north, west. Go cave. Open chest. Look chest. The cave-in's right here. Get harp. I know I just typed get hard. East, north, drink vial. North, north, get ring. This seems like a good place to save back. The prequel of the King's Quest V, Cat and Mouse. I wonder what games were like in her childhood. Some horrible grandpa teaching her classic board games, but making them torturous. You know, at the time, looking at reviews of this game, just the mere fact that it had such great graphics, forgiving the writing and everything was something most reviewers were willing to do. The graphics were considered so cutting edge, and really just the sense of fairy tale storytelling outweighed any of the questions about design. People, for the most part, weren't thinking very hard about good design at this time. It was just sort of you know, this is wild that it even exists. Talk woman. Go west. Go rainbow. Okay, there's a gold coin here. Get coin. Yeah, really, every little bit of this game at some level or another seems to pop up later in King's Quest. I don't know how much of that was conscious and how much of it was just sort of returning to the same ideas, but it's definitely the case. Oops. You're at the east edge of a deep gorge. There's a rickety bridge crossing the gorge. I don't think it can hold much weight. All right, so here we are at a rickety bridge. Sound familiar? This is very King's Quest 2, right? So we could try to cross it. You're too heavy. The bridge collapses. You're dead. So would you like to play again? Yes, but I'm going to reload. Okay. So this, again, is some real Moon logic stuff. Engineer bridge. I don't know how to engineer something. Fix bridge. No way. What you have to do here, you might remember, seriously, Roberta should sue herself. You might remember that earlier we picked up a locket that said Lucy in it. So now, if we use the magic word Lucy, which we have no way of knowing was a magic word, everything you're carrying disappears. You have nothing left. You're empty inside as well. So, saying Lucy takes away all of our stuff. I don't know how you're supposed to know that. Jump, chasm. You fall to your death. I didn't think it would let us do that. I was sure that would be, I don't know how to jump something. Okay. Thank you for the suggestion. Okay, let's Lucy it. Let's go west, west, north. Here's another cave. You're in the mountains. There's a cave here. So yeah, the only way to cross that is to guess that you were supposed to say the word that was written in the locket there. At no point does it tell you that's a magic spell or that it lightens your possessions or anything else. And then all of your stuff disappears, which would be easy to think maybe that was a game over situation. No, you can't hocus that bridge, unfortunately. So let's go cave. And I love this scene. All of our possessions. How great is that with them just strewn all around this cave? I don't know why the Lucy spell teleported them to this cave. But here is where all the criticisms of Roberta Williams as a game designer should come to an immediate halt, because the game recognizes the command get all. And it actually allows you to take everything in one fell swoop, rather than having to remember what each of those inventory items are. Leave cave. Oops. It's another cave that ends right here. Leave cave. Go south, then west. And here is my avatar in the game. This is how I feel most of the time, is exactly like this giant. Yeah, I mean, Get All is about as good as you can hope for from a game from this era. I love this look of anger on the giant's face. Talk giant. I mean, this is charming. How could you not love this? When I played this game with my daughter earlier today, she just busted out laughing as soon as she saw this character. And it was just, the giant doesn't speak English. Interesting. Interesting choice there. Anger or pain. She busted out. Are we talking about anger or pain in what context? Tickle giant. I can't believe that. First of all, I'm kind of surprised that they speak English in Serenia. That is one constipated giant, isn't it? Let's see here. So what we're going to do for him. That giant's facial expression is anger or pain. Anger, pain, yeah, Eden's suggestion maybe constipation is strong. I feel like I have looked like this for most of 2020. I feel like if you just saw me walking down the street, that this would probably be the look on my face, like a look. That's, yeah, definitely my jam right now. So I love this giant. He is me. Play harp. The giant is a great lover of music. He thanks you for the harp and leaves with it. So I played it and he was like, yoink, my harp now. Thank you. Okay, north. There's a peddler selling wares for 1 gold each. Oops. So, look table. There are boots, a jug of wine, a dagger, a horn, and a frying pan on the table. I thought the frying pan was a magnifying glass. Look at that hat with the feather. Yeah. That's like a proto-Gramian hat, right? So, what we've got now is another interesting bit of design. Hit peddler with stick. Use stick. No way. Kiss peddler. No way. You can buy any of these items for the coin we got on the other side of the rainbow. The only problem is only one of these items will actually help you in your quest. And it's the horn. And the only way to know that is to buy each of these items, wander around, try to solve what you're supposed to do next, and then eventually through trial and error, go back and try another item. I mean, arguably you might guess what we're going to use it for in a moment is blow it out in front of Harlan's castle, which will cause the drawbridge to come down. Maybe you could figure that out. It's not so far-fetched, but it's also not really signposted anywhere. But we're going to buy the horn. And then we are going to go north. You're in front of the castle. There is a moat around the castle full of crocodiles. Again, moat full of crocodiles is a pretty familiar trope in fantasy, but definitely something that we'd see revisited at Castle Daventry eventually, right? So we are going to blow our horn. And the drawbridge comes down. For some reason, the evil wizard Harlan is happy to welcome us in just by blowing the horn. Maybe we're like a knight coming back from his quest. But regardless, here we are. Castle Daventry. That's right. This is, they're probably designed by the same architect. Buying the wrong item is a dead end. I don't believe you can go back and exchange anything. It's just, it is what it is. So it's a trial and error sort of puzzle, which is really unfortunate. So let's go north. You're in the entry hall of the castle. There are doorways to the north, west, and south. You're in a maze of passageways. This is a terrible maze where, again, your perspective shifts constantly through it, where north is no longer up, south is no longer down. Everything is just a terrible, terrible maze. So I'm going to cheat my way through it as I've been doing this whole game. We're going to go west, 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 north, east, east, north, northwest, north, east, east, east. And that gets us out of a maze that I cannot imagine trying to solve without cheating. Sorry, Mario, but your princess is in another castle. Now we're going to open this door. It is locked. We're going to pick a lock with that knife we've been carrying around the whole game. You pick the lock. Open door. Go door. Oh wait, I guess I go, is this actually east? Yes. Yeah, shifting perspective maze. Just like King's Quest V. We are nearly at the end, folks. We could easily complete this now, and I'll probably restore back here and do it, but this is a really interesting part of the game to me. Sadly, no Dink and Sam. Here is a frog. This was my daughter's favorite part of the game. She figured out to kiss the frog. She typed it in on the keyboard, and then was thrilled. You hear a wicked laugh and are suddenly zapped to dash, dash, dash. Who knows where? You're in east-west hallway. So you get teleported away by Harlan the Wizard when you try to deal with the frog. We're back here. Kiss frog. You hear a wicked laugh and are suddenly zapped to east-west hallway. Open door. Look closet. Get shoe. Look, shoe. Whoosh. The shoe says whoosh on the bottom of it. Okay. All right, we're getting teleported every time we move around. East, west, down, north. We're back in the maze. So west, 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 north, east, east, north, north, west, north, east, 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 east. This is diabolical. It absolutely is. So what we're actually going to need to do here, I think, and we may still have to restore, this can get really messed up and I think dead end us pretty easily. We're going to go up. You're in a tower. There's stairs leading down. We're going to go down. We're going to go up again. Look. You see nothing special. There's a bird here. Look, bird. It is very beautiful. So this is wild to me. We're going to wear that ring that we found earlier, the sapphire ring. We're going to rub the ring, and I can't stress enough what a strange design choice this is. You turn into a cat, leap up and eat the bird. You're yourself again. You're in a tower. There are stairs. So we rub the ring. We turn into a cat. Again, very King's Quest 3, very King's Quest 5. Oh yeah, that's a good point. We have the Girl in the Tower sticker available to slap on the stream. If you'd like to do so, we can hear a little bit of that song. Just hover over 50 bits. We can hear the hit song, Girl in the Tower. But what's happened just now is that bird was the evil wizard Harlan, who had transformed himself into a bird. We had no way of knowing that when we walked in the room. The game in no way indicates that. Even after you turn to a cat and immediately eat him, which at this time you just think this is a bird, you eat him and then you turn back to normal, you've defeated the evil wizard, the one from the title, the one that this whole game is about. Personal fantasy fulfilled here, turn into cat save world. Good point. But that is how you defeat the wizard. And it doesn't even tell you that you've defeated the wizard at any point. Is that not bananas? Is that not wild storytelling? Like, how hard would it have been here to put in a note saying, that bird tasted like a wizard? Or, now the spell is broken, you've defeated Harlan. But you get nothing. It's just like, you're yourself again. You're in a tower. There's stairs leading down. So we can go down, then east. And then we're going to kiss the frog. Again, my daughter's favorite part of the game. The frog becomes a princess. There's a princess following you. You're in a tiny room. I love that there's a princess following you now. And it continues, like if you go west. There's a princess following you. You're in a short hallway. Up. There's a princess following you. Down. West. East. There's a princess following you. So we have a princess following us. Big news. All we have to do now is we picked up the shoes earlier. They said on the bottom of them whoosh, because Nike has swoosh trademarked, presumably. And we are going to say whoosh, the magic word, one of many magic words that we've used this time around. Nothing happens. Oh wait, wear shoe? Okay. Whoosh. You're transported to Serenia. There's a princess following you. You're in the village of Serenia. Around you is a desert. So we are back at the opening screen. What you have to do now... Actually, let me test this. Oh, I can't save, huh? What you have to do now is look. And that ends the game. The game doesn't know that you've completed it until you get back here and say, look, and then it says, congratulations. You have safely returned the princess to Serenia. For this outstanding feat, you have been declared a junior master adventurer. And that is the end of The Wizard and the Princess. If you hit enter here, Green Valley Publishing thanks you for playing The Wizard and the Princess. I believe that's someone that Sierra was working with at the time. Press any key to quit, and doing so will dump us back out to the end. So that was The Wizard and the Princess, Roberta Williams' 1980 adventure game classic, her second game after Mystery House. Very early example of a graphic adventure, and one that I think is charming in its fairy tale sensibilities. Like, I can't help but kind of love some of the bits like turning into various animals and encountering lions and giants and other things that we would see in later King's Quest games. All of that's pretty fun, but boy, it is a tough game. There's no way. Yeah, only Junior Master does seem really insulting. There is no way I could have ever finished this game without a walkthrough. I would have become too frustrated. I think even as a kid, back when my tolerance for kind of oddly designed games was a lot higher than it is today, I can't imagine like working my way through this. And actually, you know, I was going to say this is the first time I played Wizard and the Princess, but as you guys know, this is actually the third time I played Wizard and the Princess because it took me so many dang times to get through it. But we have officially, finally finished Wizard and the Princess. I can go on with my life. All of you can go on with your lives, and that's the most important thing. We've done this, and we've done it together. Thank you so much for sticking this out. I was determined to defeat this game, not just to defeat the Wizard Harlan / a tiny bird that I ate, but also just to prove that I could get this game up and running. And now, ScumVM has saved the day. You need some scotch, I need some bourbon, but we made it through together. What's coming up soon? This again was sort of an emergency Friday night session so I could finally beat this ding dang game. What's coming up later this week? I think on Wednesday. For this week's Retro Adventure Wednesday, I am going to do something a little bit different, and I am going to play a fan game. I am going to play Space Quest Zero Replicated. A fun adventure, one that gets overlooked a lot. I think it's one of the better Space Quest fan games out there. It has some gorgeous AGI-style graphics, sort of an interesting prequel to Space Quest 1. I think it's a game that not a lot of people have seen. So I'm going to be loading that up on Wednesday, and we are going to play Space Quest Zero Replicated. I really love it. It's a fun little game, and I'm looking forward, hopefully, to introducing a lot of people who've maybe never played it before to the game. So that's what's coming up, and then who knows what else will come along next week. But for now, that's about it for me. Thanks, everyone, for joining me again on this Retro Adventure Wednesday that's not even on a Wednesday, but it's been a blast. We finally beat Wizard and the Princess, you guys. I can't believe it happened. So everyone, have a good night. Take care. Stick around. If you're new to the stream, follow. I stream these retro games all the time. It's always fun to share them with new people. But for now, have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. Take care of yourselves.